Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to another live stream. We're about to hit market open, and today we are going to be starting out in regression mode due to the presence of this band right here. So we're just going to wait for it to start. All right, there is the market open. As you can see, not much going on here at market open, really low volatility. And here's our first fill of the day into a trade, not a fill. But we got a buy limit order here, or a buy market order that filled. Our take profit is just inside of this green zone that was automatically marked by the Analytica chart 4+. So we're going to leave this trade and not do anything. We're just going to turn on arm both and just leave it. So what this does up here is this queues up the next trade, essentially meaning that the strategy has been continuously on since market open, because the strategy cannot enter positions while it's already in a position. Also, guys, take note of the fact that this green bar here has been filled, meaning it's ended, so this is not a relevant zone after this bar. Also, guys, as we get more information from market open, I want you guys to be watching delta and seeing what entropy actually looks like. And it's looking like we are maintaining a high delta price correlation, at least for the 3 opening bars that have occurred, as long as this bar continues to go upward and closes green, or in this case, blue. So we're looking for that positive delta and positive price action to switch it into trend mode, if that's what we're going to do. If we keep seeing chop and we start to get a high entropy zone forming, then we will actually switch modes into something else, or into trend mode, sorry. Looks like we got filled into a short trade here right after we got filled on that long one. This position was filled inside of the previous green zone. I know that isn't any relevance, but I'm still going to consider that a pretty good fill, especially because of how this zone previously acted as a point of contention. So right now, we're watching for delta price correlation. As you can see, delta right now on this bar right here is blue, and price is blue as well, meaning that if we actually get stopped out on this trade, we will switch it into trend mode. If we get filled on this trade and delta is orange, then we'll actually switch to trend mode as well. But if we get stopped out, we get filled or stopped out on this trade and delta is actually in the opposite direction of price, then we're going to keep it in regression mode, if that makes sense to you guys. If you guys don't have an understanding of what entropy is, I highly suggest checking out the first video linked in the description of this video. So it's actually looking like it might close with negative delta here, or positive delta, which would be ideal for us in the short term, but we would keep it in regression mode in that case. But we're going to continue to watch it. So now delta has actually flipped. We're going to keep watching this till this bar closes. And because now we have enough information from market open to make a decision based on entropy alone, or not entropy alone, but to actually account for that, we're going to be switching into trend mode because we've seen delta continuously maintain high correlation with price. Also, guys, we do have a major update to the Analytica Chart 4 releasing shortly, or soon. I shouldn't say shortly because that implies today, but within the next few weeks, we're going to see a big update to the Analytica Chart 4 Plus. If you own the Analytica Chart 4 Plus, of course, you get those updates for free. And I think they're really, really cool. They're super exciting, and I think they'll help you guys visualize the market in a much more efficient way. Because, of course, the goal is to create a UI that allows you to see what I am seeing with the most ease possible. Looks like our system just put us into a short trade, so it's going with the general trend. I know that we usually don't really look at pre-market, but just to help you visualize, it is going with this trend. And Delta has maintained high correlation with price. You know, it is abnormally low volatility today. I'm not really sure what's going on, but you usually don't really see only 5 bars, 6 bars since market open form. I don't even really want to count the opening bar. But yeah, that's kind of interesting. Not great for us because we actually thrive on high volatility, but this is what it is. I'll take what I can get. Less total profit, but still the same risk, so I'm fine with it. Awesome. Looks like we got film there on that short trade. That's fortunate for us. So that's going to be, I think, 3 wins in a row. So pretty, oh, sorry, 4 wins in a row now. So pretty exciting. I don't know what was going on with their mic, but sorry, I meant 3 wins in a row. Just recounted. My bad. What a slow market today. Kind of unfortunate, but it's been pretty predictable, which is ideal. Generally, the market is uniform, but there are days where you do have to react quickly and adapt your trading style to suit it. But today isn't really one of those days. It's actually a very beginner-friendly day. Looks like the strategy has continually kept us out for quite some time. Once again, this is usually an aspect of low volatility days, so it's trying to make us not get chopped out. You know, while we wait, I'm gonna start just marking out zones to trade off of. I don't really think I would consider this part zone here just because of the absence of any absorption. And because it's pre-market, it's kind of just a rough idea. You don't really have a ton of information on that. Not a very interesting day, but a day nonetheless. Strategy still keeping us out of this long run here, which is kind of unfortunate, but you know, not my call. Looks like we got filled here into a long trade. I want you guys to check out the POC zones here. Keep an eye on them. Wow. Looks like it's just bouncing off of this absorption line there. That is really unfortunate. I'm just going to hold it. I'm just going to hold it. Oof. All the way down into no profit for this trade. That's really unfortunate. That was so close. We had maybe better execution speed, but our execution speed is pretty much as low as you can go. So gains would be minimal from this point. As you can see here, we now have a new peak zone here for absorption. And it looks like we may actually end up getting stopped out on this trade. And if we get stopped out on this trade, we're going to be switching it into regression mode due to the presence of this zone. Price is pretty much guaranteed to bounce off of this area, especially because of how fresh it is. We're also seeing good amounts of POC zones up high. You can see that in this bar. Yeah, we got stopped out on that one. So we're in regression mode, especially. So if it had filled on that trade, it would have counted that. Okay, looks like okay, everything's moving really fast here, but it passed slightly through this zone, and now we're getting some resistance and, or sorry, support. And price is, or sorry, our take profit is above this green zone, and our stop loss is below it. If we get stopped out on this trade, we're going to switch it into trend mode. And if we fill on this trade, we're going to keep it inside of regression. It's a lot to process, I understand, but it's what it is. Sorry guys, I'm really focused here. I'm just trying to watch price action, but we get filled on that trade. So keeping it in regression, of course. But it looks like the zone has actually formed to encapsulate this previous one. So we'll see. And we've seen a shift to move down here on these PSU zones. But we'll see on this bar if that trend continues. Okay, looks like we actually got a long fill there. Stop loss is inside of a zone that has already been passed, or a level where price has passed through recently, and it's a regression trade, so I don't love that. But either way, we're just going to watch it out and play it through. We're not going to be able to make a decision solely based on if we get stopped out or sold here. Interestingly, I think that, yes, sorry. Okay. So if we get our take profit here, because of how far it is outside of this area, even though it's a point of contention here, as long as delta is correlated, well, I was going to say as long as delta is correlated, we would switch into trend mode, but we got stopped out already anyway. So we are now in another regressive trade. This time it's another long trade, and this time slightly lower. So yeah, this one, our take profit is within this area and our stop loss is outside. So if we get stopped out of this one, trend mode, we get take profit on this one, leave it in regression. Now we're starting to get that momentum to get us to our daily take profit. So that's great to see. Marking those out because of the previously consecutive absorption at these levels. These are not hard levels, they are simply to help you visualize what I'm looking at. Looks like we got into a short trade here. Of course, our stop loss is way outside of the zone. So if we get stopped down, it would be a trend mode switch. Our take profit is within the zone. So we would leave it in regression if we were to win this trade. Which of course we did. So I want you guys to become more comfortable with losing trades in your personal experience, especially if those losing trades give you information on price stickiness and a zone switch. So if you lose a trade and it's in a different zone, you now have more information on what you're going to do. So I actually welcome it because it helps me make very, very informed and concrete decisions that are based on logic. I decide beforehand what my next decision is going to be. And also, we are at, I believe, around $4,200 of profit at this point. So if we get stopped out here, which we might, so I'm going to leave it armed on if we get stopped out. But if it hits our take profit, we're actually going to be done trading for the day because that hit our $5,000 trading take profit, or our trading goal for the day. It should come out to at least within $200 of that, so I'm fine with it. But of course, I have the strategy still on just because if we get stopped out, I do want to keep trading until we hit our take profit. Ooh, it might hit it. It's really close. Just below that zone, or just above that zone. It's definitely a pucker factor trade, if you know what I'm saying, but well, it's unfortunate. We did get stomped out of that one. As you can see, price was just so close to this zone, but we are going to be putting it into trend mode now that price has made its way out of it. I think that, that's just unfortunate. I don't really know what else to say besides that. Yeah, that's sad, especially now that we've moved back into the zone. But like I said before, I have to follow my concrete rules of using losing trades as information. So closed just outside. It stopped us out just outside of that zone. That is super frustrating, but it did, so we're in trend mode now. I have to follow mechanical rules, but ooh, that I gotta walk that one off, I think. Jeez, that's so unfortunate, especially if this trade ends up working out. But oh, whatever it is, whatever. Of course, and because this zone was maybe a little bit too short, maybe I should have stuck it up here. We end up giving back even more profit, so that's unfortunate. I'm not gonna say that's just unfortunate that happened, but tricky situation. You know, this is a very interesting zone. Maybe I should have moved this up or whatever, but maybe I should have kept it in regression mode. But this makes me feel so silly that I made a mistake like that, but I don't even know if I can call that a mistake. I love how I said I want you guys to welcome trade losses as to get information, and then right after that, I get all emotional about losing a trade. I mean, is what it is. Sometimes it's hard to take your own advice, but in general, I think that this is going to play out for us just because of. All right, we got filled into a short trade here. Now, this is below the previous zone. Of course, it's right below the level of the red automatically marked zone. So I think we're good on that. If this gets stopped out, that'll actually give us another excuse to put it back into regression mode to try and milk this chop some more. But this chop didn't really give us much in the long run just because of it putting us back pretty much to our total profit from before this zone. So this part sucked, but let's try and stay positive. Sweet, that looks like a fill there in trend. I like what I see. Maybe we'll get this massive dump and we'll get some fills on it, some easy trend rating. But you never know. I'm trying to decide whether or not to consider this zone before, but this is such a weak. Oh, looks like we got filled right inside of this. So that actually does give us a very easy excuse on, or a reason to do an action here. If we get stopped out, we will consider this a point of contention and we will, or a support level, and we will switch into regression mode. If we get filled here, we're going to leave it in trend mode. Sweet, looks like we got filled on that. We're up to $4,100 again, so I think winning the next trade, if we are fortunate enough to win the next trade, we will be at our take profit. Okay, so looks like we got filled actually into a long trade. If this hits our take profit, we're done for the day. If it hits our stop loss, we're obviously not done for the day. And if it does hit our stop loss, we're leaving that thing in trend mode. So, just so you know, and if it was up here, as long as the delta prevailed, we probably would switch it into regression mode. At this point, I'm trading longer than I usually do. I usually only like to trade the first 30 minutes of the market. After that, it kind of gets fuzzy up until power hour, where it becomes easy to trade again, or at least it's my rhythm. But it looks like it's actually gonna, if it bounces off of this resistance point, that would be really funny. Not for me, but it would just be funny in general. I'm just going to turn the strategy on just because it's now made its way down to our initial entry zone. And if we get stopped out, we actually have to continue trading until we hit $5,000. This is really frustrating, but we're making progress. We are slowly climbing. I understand why you guys like the 1.5 profit factor, mentally at least. I find 1-to-1 gives you more. I actually become more frustrated on 1.5 just because it seems like there's less relevance to your entry the farther away you go, and your stop loss as well. So your stop loss actually has more relevance than the take profit if you use 1.5, but that's why I use 1-to-1, which you can see is working out great today. I think we're gonna get filled here. I think it's gonna happen for us. It's gonna pull through. I'm sorry about the emotional commentary, but you know, even at this level of experience, you still can get frustrated with the markets. I mean, this was just bullshit, but that's still in my head that happened. And then, of course, the subsequent loss right here, because, of course, we had this zone, which maybe we should have considered this too. But like I said, it's going to work out for us in the end. You get a pretty big safety net with this strategy, even if you make a couple of mistakes like I do. This is kind of funny that the POC is right at this zone that we bounced off of earlier, and as well as our entry point on that initial short trade. And we're one tick away. Now a more sensible me may have moved this, but I am stubborn and I will not be moved so easily. There we go. Okay. And that puts us right over $5,000 on the day, which is our profit target. Now, this was a trickier day to trade, not necessarily because it was a hard day to trade, but it was simply tedious. And tedious days can sometimes throw you off when you get anxious and you see that price, let's say, is not hitting your take profit, but you do need to stay mentally fortified when trading days like this, because they can throw you curveballs and do exactly what you expected them to do, just much slower. And the fact that they do it slower can really trip you up, and they can make you want to do a decision that is not following your mechanical rules. So it's important to stick to your strategy, even if the market is being kind of a slowpoke. Well, anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's stream. And yeah, thanks so much, guys. Make sure you sign up for the email newsletter if you want to get notifications about the streams beforehand. We actually sent out a stream last night informing you guys that we would be streaming today. So all of you who got that and were kind enough to wait patiently in the room before it started, thanks so much for doing so. Appreciate it, guys. And I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your week. I'll probably stream again this week.